This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Welcome and Happy New Year from Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Perotti along with Nick Perotti. Our program today being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service on Highway 30, Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range right across from Menards, Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way, Platte Valley Bank ×2 on Vanda High and the east side location of the corner of College and Pershing, Medicap Pharmacy on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse, Lennox Auto Body ×2, the main auto and truck repair center on Dunn Avenue with a plethora of bays to get the job done and done properly. And, of course, the Auto Glass and Detail Center you will find over on Pershing Boulevard. First Year Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, open Monday through Friday. Cross street at 1507 Stillwater Avenue. Sweet D in the Greenway Commons. It's the home of Mondello's Pizzeria and La Osteria Mondello. As Joe says, we are getting ready to fire that puppy up again. Oh, yeah. You know, again, 3 days a week. I'm sure we could all go for the best Italian cuisine around. Mars Plumbing Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue. And, of course, we get the program underway. We all take a look at our scoreboard. It's brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Well, our scoreboard meant that we should be down in Alamosa, Colorado today for LCCC women's basketball, but unfortunately, if you were not anywhere on social media updating folks, yes, that women's contest between the LCCC Lady Golden Eagles and Adams State Junior Varsity that was supposed to be underway about in 2 hours, unfortunately was canceled as the JV squad down there at Adams State, unfortunately, not enough returning players to fit a team, so that game has been canceled. So Coach Ortmeyer looking to at least possibly replace that game with someone down at least in the future, so we'll get hopefully updates on that. Anyways, though, NHL action for tonight. You will see the Vancouver Canucks in Ottawa taking on the Senators, the Detroit Red Wings in Little Caesars Arena hosting the Calgary Flames, Pittsburgh Penguins in the Madison Square Garden, the Mecca taking on the New York Rangers, Dallas Stars hosting the New Jersey Devils in the Pepsi Center, Colorado Avalanche in action against the San Jose Sharks. And that game can be seen on NBC Sports Network. And last but not least, in Arizona, the Coyotes playing host to the Edmonton Oilers. That's what's happening in NHL action for tonight.
And we move on to the NBA scoreboard. Here's what's going on in the National Basketball Association for this evening. Mavericks will visit the Hornets tonight in the Spectrum Center in Charlotte. Heat and the Cavaliers in the Quicken Loans Arena. Hawks and the Wizards in the Capital One Arena. Pelicans and the Nets in the Barclays Center. Timberwolves, Celtics, TD Garden. Bulls hosting the Magic tonight in the United Center. The Grizz in the FedEx Forum. They have a date with the Detroit Pistons, 76ers, and Suns. They will hook up at Talking Stick Resort Arena in Phoenix. And at Staples, it will be the OKC Thunder and the Los Angeles Lakers. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats. Now, listen, we need to talk. Now, I normally have a nice cold bottle of Mountain Dew in me, but at the moment, I'm empty. That's right, no Mountain Dew. Nothing in here but a couple of quarters and a dime. A fully capable cup holder like me just carrying your loose change, it's embarrassing. Look, I'm not made for loose change. I'm round like a bottle of Mountain Dew. Glistening, cold, and delicious. I'm made to keep Mountain Dew within reach at all times, so you're never far from that incredible bold citrus kick whenever you need it. Just inches from your hand. So find the store already, grab some Dew, toss it back, then place that bottle where it belongs, and put that loose change back in your pocket. Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 KRAE.
Well, welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk today. As Nick mentioned, we should have been right in Alamosa, Colorado by now.
Getting everything set up for tonight's game, but
unfortunately, and it's sad, when we got the note yesterday saying that the game had been postponed.
Well, I got the note because Coach Ortmeyer likes me a lot better.
Oh, here we go again. Well, at least the new year hasn't started off like it wrapped up.
I think things need to change in 2019.
I don't want to. Let's go.
It's kind of like that bumper right there again. Cheyenne's new. We're pretty well established.
Anyway, so here's the deal.
At least know who I am.
With they know you as the clown.
The
Adams State Junior Varsity Lady Grizzlies basically just said they cashed in their season.
And this was, at least against LCCC, looking at that JV schedule, this was going to be their final game. Again, it's a JV. Well, I mean, in general, though, for that junior varsity squad for Adams State, this was their final game. Again, they have a shortened schedule, and then they focus to at least kind of be bench roles for the varsity squad for Adams State University. But
they had been kicked around. I mean, if you look at their scores, they had their lunch handed to them.
Well, and also, too, you look at the varsity squad, though, again, going into
they're not good either.
Yeah, they're 1-8, I do believe, and they've had pretty much a rough go of it. A team that does compete in the RMAC. It is a situation where we were notified of that. Hey, it does happen. Again, players can say, hey, kind of jump ship, essentially saying, I don't like what's going on here. I'm going to move on to bigger and better schools and things, whether it is moving to JUCO, whatever those players might have done. So it kind of speaks more into the volumes of what's kind of going on there at Adams State. And again, it's just unfortunate that now LCCC for the Lady Golden Eagles, they got to wait even longer to play at least another game, as they've already been on a lengthy break. Now have to wait until next Thursday to play a contest, or at least tentative schedule, unless Coach Ortmeyer can find an all-star team, whether it is a CSU club that would be willing to play these Lady Golden Eagles.
That's not even a tune-up, though. I mean, that would be just nothing.
At this point, beggars can't be choosers.
But here's the deal. I mean, this is a team that's been back together, roughly almost a week, looking forward to playing. And again, you know it too. You're, being a little bit younger than me, that practice after a while gets boring.
Yeah, again, you do the same repetitive. You can only do so much until you got to get into the real thing.
And now the Lady Golden Eagles are going to be inactive for about a week.
Well, that's why I'm saying tentative, unless Coach Ortmeyer can find. Again, you cannot play anyone in Region 9, obviously, because, again, there are going to be other schools, especially down in the Region 9 South Division. Hey, they're already busy trying to focus on Region 9 South teams, whether, again, Otero, Trinidad State. You can't face any of those teams right now. It wouldn't make any sense. The best bet right now, unless Coach Ortmeyer can pull a rabbit out of a magic hat or something.
The
CSU club team. Maybe UNC has a JV squad that'd be willing. Maybe there's some way you could take on a JV squad created by the University of Wyoming. It's going to be local, and it's going to be anything kind of special. But right now, as it stands for LCCC, it hurts a little bit. At least it's not a good situation for the Lady Golden Eagles, where, again, you have to sit even longer now without competing. Again, waiting until next Thursday, where they'll be at home playing host to Northeastern College.
Yeah, that's just it's a shame that happened, and it's a shame what's going on
at least
at Adams State right now.
I forget who. Yeah, we see Northeastern, I do believe.
Is it non-conference?
I'd have to double check.
Why don't you go look real quick while we
can do it in a break.
All right, we can do that too. All right, there is a lot to talk about. Matter of fact, we lose LCCC Lady Golden Eagles basketball today, but tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday, we kick it back into high gear with high school hoops. It's the annual Taco John's Invite, where East, Central, and South are hosting, and I do believe Story Gym also is open for business too.
Yeah, Story Gym will see the lights, I do believe, tomorrow. Pine Bluff's taking on Sheridan. So, yeah, again, all venues in action, whether it's a field house over at South High.
And we'll be
again, the auxiliary gym for East will also be in use, same with the Thunderdome. So
we'll be at the field house tomorrow.
Where
Thunderdome
we will see
on Friday, and then Saturday at South.
Yeah, so for tomorrow's action, as it will be 6 o'clock tip-off time with the girls basketball squad from Central High, the Lady Indians, as they'll play host to Kelly Walsh. And then right after that game wraps up, it will be boys action here on 1480 KRAE, as we'll see the Indians play host to the Kelly Walsh Trojans. For Friday, it will be Rock Springs. They'll be in town. They'll be taking on Cheyenne East, the Lady Thunderbirds, and at least T-Birds. They're at the Thunderdome. We will have that game as well. Again, 6 o'clock with the girls up first, 8:30 tentative schedule with the boys. And then Saturday's contest, 3 and 4:30 with South High as they play host to Riverton. So, again, we will see all three schools, all 3 days of the Taco John's invite coming up tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. Myself, Chris Polton, on the call. Again, 1480 AM, 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com, and video live streaming, as always, on Periscope and the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel.
You know, you mentioned Cheyenne East on Friday. East T-Birds did very well at the Energy
They were the lone local team that were in action kind of around this holiday break as they were up at the Energy Classic.
Third place for Cheyenne East as they defeated the Gillette Camels for the third place spot. They got beat by Thunder Basin, which dropped them down into the third place game. But
still sit with one loss, so at least early in the season.
Well, at least we got a feel.
Yeah.
We got a feel right now because out of Campbell County, between the Camels as well as the Bolts, last year it was Gillette.
Yeah.
They were the team. Well, it looks like
they were the sleeper team, the team no one expected. Again,
but the Bolts,
I go back with Campbell County for last year, a game that we had here that me and Chris saw over in regionals at Laramie, where it was a situation where Cheyenne South, it was the Fighting Bison. They were taking control of that contest against Campbell County. It was a loser-out early game in that regional tournament where there was one infamous play. We won't really go into it, but again, a crucial kind of swing of momentum in favor of Campbell County where they had no business winning that game. Fighting Bison should have moved on in that regional tournament last year, but one little costly play on behalf of the Fighting Bison, and look at the run that Campbell County had, again, eventually becoming your state champions from last year.
Well, again, Campbell County was the more loaded for bear team than Thunder Basin. This year, it's Thunder Basin is probably the team that we'll have to watch out for. I mean, again,
possibly.
Again,
East is still that number one team.
I understand that, but Gillette, all that has happened is the mantle of power has been thrusted over to Thunder Basin now instead of Campbell County. So we'll
like
see.
I said, Campbell County is still defending state champions, and they still will be until a new one is crowned.
And
again, they were a team that
new one crowned this year.
Possibly. You never know. Again, Campbell County, they snuck under the radar. They were hot at the perfect time, again, where they, in that opening round of the regionals all the way to the state championship, it was a team that no one expected. East, at this point in time, was favored last year. They are going into this season. Nothing is really guaranteed in Class 4A.
I see the top three teams right now. I have a sneaky suspicion who the top three teams will be for the guys.
I'd say we have two here in town right now.
I can give you the top four now.
Why? You have Central in your top three?
No, I don't. I have them as the number 4 right now because they're still young. As far as I'm concerned, they have some veterans.
They have a lot of young talent, though, and again, talent.
And obviously you're not going to hang your hat all on Lawson Lovering in the middle. He's got to have some support.
He certainly does, but in contests that Central has been competing in so far, the weight has been on his shoulders, and he's cashed in. He has been putting up 20, 30 points.
I'm glad he has, and I'm glad that he's answered the call. But to the rest of the Indians, they got to be there in support because not every night's going to be a good night.
Yeah.
And, you don't need him because pretty soon you're going to have coverages, or I should say coverages, but you're going to have defenses sagging in on him. And I don't care that he's 6'8", 6'9".
Well, he's going to have the clear height advantage. I mean, you do only so much of pretty much boxing him out. But, again, he's going to have a few inches over any other kind of player in Class 4A right now across the state. So he's going to have enough wiggle room, enough movement where he can break through those.
You're going to start putting your muscle guys on him. They're going to try to wear him down. We've seen that, in a lot of games that we've covered.
They're going to be tested coming up tomorrow. Again, Kelly Walsh, they put up a good effort against the Cheyenne East Thunderbirds. That game we saw there midway, at least middle of December. It's going to be a good test. I think Central at home, they should take advantage of that contest, but I think it's a good filling out, at least opening contest, getting into 2019 for the Central High, at least Indians coming up tomorrow night.
Yeah, and again, the days of running the table and going undefeated, and again, last I remember was Dwayne Cook's Cheyenne Central Indians running the table here locally.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen this
No,
season.
I don't see that happening anymore because you see more of rotations and yeah, you want to win the game. I mean, that's the first and foremost thing. But nobody's all butthurt that they lose, especially in preseason. So
what does it matter is you get a decent seeding come regional time, and again, you do what you did, or you do what Campbell County did last year, and again, they came in a low seed and won it all.
But like Jason Vicka said from LCCC, he's more concerned about how his team performs in February, and I think this is the way the attitudes are now. The coaches, here locally is that we'll win, that's great. But, I want my team peaking by February.
Especially how this quadrant is broken up. I think that's probably the best way around it, of just trying to, again, yes, you want your kind of early test games, but nothing too hard. You don't want to go too extreme for any, at least, team in Class 4A. But, yeah, I think 2019's probably, I would even say probably even after the Taco John's invite, maybe later January, February, that's where you're starting to focus. When you get into the quad play where you are going to see East, you are going to see Central, you are going to see South, you're going to see Laramie, you're going to see your opponents that you're going to get very familiar with in a few, at least, an 8-week span, 12-week span between these four teams. So I think it's probably the smart way to approach things in basketball nowadays, especially here in the state of Wyoming. Yeah, I think you want to play your best basketball, again, towards those kind of later games, those at least round regionals, especially in state.
Well, I think the keys that you really want to watch tomorrow or throughout the weekend are the ladies. Because, again, all three teams, and, again, you have the East Lady Thunderbirds under Coach Westling, who's been around.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like his first rodeo.
Well, he has talent on that team.
Got and they're good talent. And
they're doing very well. You look at
Thunderbirds, Central's doing okay.
They're doing very well. They're, I do believe, 6-1.
And Coach DeBryan has Cheyenne South has actually more of the surprise team right now. I think the Christmas break hit them at the wrong time. They were playing some pretty decent basketball.
For me right now, of a team of how they're doing so far, especially here in the quad, at least here in the southeast portion of Class 4A, I would say, yes, Cheyenne South, a little bit of a surprise, but the team that has surprised at least more on the standing side, again, with going into at least this coming up weekend with only one loss, is Cheyenne Central. Lady Indians, it's a little surprising. Not saying they were expected to be very awful, but it is surprising for me that they are, again, with only one loss so far. They're doing very well.
Well, they had a couple of kids that have been with the program now 3 years that have played significant roles. You had some of the younger kids that, matter of fact, I remember last year doing the Central game, and I said, these young ladies are going to be pretty doggone good. And Coach Kirkbride's got a good semblance of talent. So does Coach Westling, and so does Coach DeBryan. And Coach DeBryan really has, as we would say here, the dark horse team.
Oh, I think absolutely.
If they, again, give them this year might be, who knows? They might be the breakout year.
I don't expect
give them another year.
Yeah, I don't expect the Lady Fighting Bison to win a state championship this season, but they could make a run.
They could knock on the door and head into the playoffs.
Absolutely, they can absolutely surprise a few teams across Class 4A. But I don't think this is not their year. I would say, as you have been saying, again, give it next year. They could be a team that could be sitting up top.
But through the early get-go for the Lady Fighting Bison and tip of the cap to Coach DeBryan, they're not making those mistakes like we saw last year. And again, you had some seniors, but you had a lot of freshmen and, maybe one or two sophomores.
You have a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores from last year that are, again, a year older who played through those. They had to play through freshmen. They had to play on those sophomore games. They had to play those JV games and varsity as well. They were playing many minutes across multiple.
About 6 quarters every night out. Yeah. So again, like I said, they know the drill now, and they've seen what to expect. But again, I like this too. Barring the Energy Classic, all of our teams, snuck off and went down to Colorado. You go down and play in the Colorado tournaments, and again, you guys were there in Greeley.
Yeah.
It's more of a physical game down there. It's not, hey, I touched you, ooh, foul. I mean, they let you play down there.
Yeah.
And that's good. I think, it kind of battle toughs both the men's and women's teams as they get ready here. And again, you take the preseason for what it's worth because we don't get really underway here for a couple weeks after the Taco John's. But you look at the preseason, you're kind of excited about it, but I think there's some things still that need to be built, especially from the boys' side at Cheyenne Central. I'm not saying East has already peaked. I'm just saying Central needs to get more around Lawson Lovering. East has shown a good team game. I will give the Thunderbirds that. The South boys still have some problems. They're
a team that is kind of in rebuild mode, essentially. They lost a lot of talent.
But the ladies are the ones I'm looking forward to watching this year because all three of those teams, two of them for sure can be contenders. One is a dark horse team, and I don't know, maybe they peak again. February is when we're wanting them to start doing their best basketball.
I think we have 5 legitimate chances of teams representing at least possibly in the championship game. Again, I think on the girls' side, all 3 local schools have an opportunity. Again, even including Cheyenne South with the Lady Fighting Bison, that's a team that can turn heads, can surprise a few teams coming up in regionals. And if they do make it to the state tournament, it's a team that does have the talent. The contest that we saw there in Greeley West, that's a team, they know what they're doing. They know how to play basketball, and they're doing it very well. Again, East, we know what to expect out of Wesleyan. He has the talent. They are the favorites so far. Cheyenne Central with Coach Kirkbride, they have had a great start so far. And again, on the guys' side, East, number 1, at least team across Class 4A. Central, again, with Lawson Lovering, the big men in the center for them. You got 5 opportunities right there where Cheyenne could see some state championships come our way, at least coming up in the month of March.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. We're going to come back, and Nick wants to talk a little football. We'll be back after these words on 1480 KRAE.
Sleeker and longer with a wider stance, the 2019 Kia Rio was designed to break the rules and turn heads. A.J. Miller here for Kia of Cheyenne. The 2019 Kia Rio has what you need without paying too much. Save even more on the 2019 Kia Rio during our Light Up the Holidays sales event going on now. Standard technology includes Bluetooth wireless with steering wheel mounted buttons, touchscreen audio system, rear camera display, and more. Come by and take advantage of some of the year's best offers or go to KiaofCheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. Our holiday super radio buys heard only right here feature Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey, 1.75 liter bottle, $22.99. Jose Cuervo Golden or Strawberry Golden Margarita, 1.75 liter bottle, $15.49. And Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer, 24-pack, 12-ounce cans, $14.99. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader.
Cheyenne Urological has been the cornerstone of urinary care to Cheyenne and its surrounding communities for over 20 years, with doctors Bryant, Everett, Gajewski, and their highly trained staff providing top-quality treatment for prostate cancer, urinary tract infections, kidney stones, impotence, and incontinence. Cheyenne Urological is now offering cutting-edge robotic surgery. So call Cheyenne Urological at 635-4131 for compassionate, expert urinary care. That's 635-4131.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For tonight, it'll be sunny with highs around 37 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15. For tonight, it'll be clear skies with lows around 17 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 49, and on Thursday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 29.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack.
Now, is that specific to anybody in particular, Nick, or
It could be just in general for the NFL of how things are going right now, but it was more so of hey, Denver fans, you can now rejoice that Vance Joseph, something that we talked about on social media, but at least have not here on the show. Yes, Vance Joseph, if you've been living under a rock for quite some time, is no longer the head coach of the Denver Broncos. So, Bronco fans, Bronco Nation, rejoice. Your man that you wanted out for so long is no longer there.
You know, I look at it this way about Vance Joseph. I don't think he should have been the head coach.
No.
When he was originally announced. I don't think he's ready to ascend to that position.
He clearly
Second of
should.
all, he was also in a position to fail. Thanks to John Elway.
Yeah, I think so. Again, handed into a bare nubbins kind of team. Again, John Elway, were especially here in this last season. Oh, hey, Case Keenum, he's your brand new quarterback. He's
How
our man.
about the year before?
Well, yeah,
Simeon,
yeah,
Lynch,
yeah. You didn't know who your quarterback was.
Sanchez,
Yeah,
Marcelo, come on. So I mean, he was
he was kind
never-
of destined to fail. It was, hey, here's pieces. Try to make something pretty out of it, and he did it for the 2 seasons. But it does bring up the question now. Again, what took so long of why Vance Joseph was on his way out? And I think the main answer, or at least the biggest answer, is one GM John Elway. And I think it brings up a bigger and better question right now of, all right, you're already retooling house right now. Is it time to look at John Elway to exit out of Denver?
You know, and again, John Elway.
Again, the guy who's made questionable moves so far.
I understand it, but he also has a Super Bowl.
I guess so.
He has 1 Super Bowl as an executive, 2 as a player.
Yeah.
So, you know, again, the man is still revered.
Is that making him untouchable then? Is he that untouchable force right now in Denver of he can do no wrong?
Well, with the Bolin family, he can't. No.
Yeah.
Then who runs the ball club?
That would be them.
I mean, who owns the ball club?
That would be them.
All right. So, yeah,
I'm just saying, is it time for the Broncos to take a serious look and go, is John Elway the best?
I think John Elway is going to have to do like he did when he retired. He's going to have to step away. I think that's the only way that he falls from grace.
Well, basically, again, you got many years to judge of what he has done in the front office, at least kind of business aspect for the Denver Broncos. Yeah, you got the Super Bowl 50 win. Again, that was also too. Those were pieces that weren't really because of him. I don't really contribute that Super Bowl win. Again, Peyton Manning.
He brought Peyton Manning in. Yes, he did. I mean, he brought in a lot of those stars. So, you know, like I said, in the Denver area, and I guess even here in our part of the world, you know, he's still a superstar. He still has that moniker of, hey, you know, he's the man. And I think the only way that
does the bad outweigh the good so far? Again, you got your one.
Bad? You had 2 seasons under the
But this is a fan base that expects winning constantly. They expect, and again, I don't think I'm out too far reaching for this, where again for the Denver Broncos, I think for the fan base, you expect to be around what New England does. Again, year in and year out, not necessarily winning AFC West championships back to back. Again, kind of going on a ridiculous run, but I think they want consistency of this is a proud franchise, a franchise that has been to umpteen Super Bowls, as much as they've lost plenty of them, but again, expect playoff runs.
What happened after Elway retired?
It was bare, yeah.
The quarterback position was like hell. You know, Brian Greasy, Jake Plummer.
But again, also too,
Cutler. I mean, they had
not saying fans are on a Super Bowl hangover from Super Bowl 50 for at least for Bronco fans, but you go from hey, we won a championship to all right, well now it's bad.
Well,
not a great season.
Here's what happened.
Sub 500.
Here's what happened in the AFC West.
Okay? It's a tough pill to swallow, going from hey, you're top dogs to well now we're kind of.
Let's look at the AFC West. Kansas City's been good. They got better with Patrick Mahomes.
I think Kansas City has been that team that's consistently good.
All right. San Diego's always been a good team.
Los Angeles?
I'm sorry. Los Angeles Chargers. They've always been a good team. They could never get over that one.
I would not say Chargers have been a good team. It's a team that is.
I didn't say they were a great team. I said a good team. They've always been an above 500 team. You know, they've had a couple blips here and there. The Raiders, they have been inconsistent, up and down, peaks and valleys.
They've been more bad than they have been good. Okay. Again, if you go back to 2000.
And the Broncos, you know, since John Elway retired, let's go back to his last game. You look at from, you know, the last 20 years, And you'll see that this ball club has about a handful of seasons under 500
No.
and playoff exits in the first round.
But the key thing, and I think where Bronco fans are at, is just getting back in the playoffs is what they expect. Is, again, this is a team that should be postseason bound year in and year out. And again, I think they hold their expectations a little too high. And again, I respect that out of a franchise. Of you're trying to be what everyone else is trying, at least aiming for, is that New England Patriot dynasty that they got going on right now. But
And they haven't done that.
no.
They have been, because again, they have not had the mark of consistency at the signal caller position.
Well, now it brings up the question of who's going to take the reins. And again, I think it's obviously a judgment mark on John Elway of what he does here in the offseason, of who he picks up. But it brings up the question now of who is the best fit for the Denver Broncos. Is it someone that is been a former head coach in the NFL ranks that are without jobs? Do you look down in the college ranks of some folks who might be interested in moving up or no longer? Again, could Ohio State's final win in the Rose Bowl be Urban Meyer's last game? Maybe in college ranks, but could he come up and entertain in the NFL? I don't know. Again, right now, just looking at a few head coach candidates so far, again, you look at former NFL head coach Mike McCarthy from the Green Bay Packers. Would he be a solid fit there in Denver for the Broncos? Could he turn that franchise around? Who knows?
How about Mike Shanahan? Bringing him back.
I don't think that would be the smart move at this point. We saw what he did, at least with the Washington Redskins. It wasn't anything too pretty. But, yeah, could that be a possibility? Would John Elway do that? It would appease fans, but would it be smart on a business aspect? Would it be smart for that team to bring back Mike Shanahan? Again, a big name, a familiar name, kind of like a John Elway. You brought him back to the franchise. But is Mike Shanahan the guy to get this team back into playoff, or at least back into a championship winning form? I don't think so.
Okay, so we can, just from your side of the fence,
but again,
Mike Shanahan.
What?
Let's eliminate Mike Shanahan.
All right.
Let's talk about Mike McCarthy. Now, again, an offensive mind, Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
Which the Denver Broncos sorely have been awful offensively. Not one, not two, 3, how about 4 years running? The offense has been lousy.
Yeah, a team that's kind of built over defense, and defense took a step back this year. But, again, is that the direction that the Broncos should go? As the old adage is, defense wins championships, and it did for Super Bowl 50 for the Denver Broncos. But is that the new directions that this team needs to go in, is focus on offense? Go with an offensive-minded Mike McCarthy. Again, you brought one championship to Green Bay, and again, that was with Aaron Rodgers. You don't have that level of quarterback. You don't have that talent at quarterback right now in Denver. It would take some time. I don't think Mike McCarthy would be the right fit for the Denver Broncos.
Well, I would think of the coaches that are out of work right now, Wilkes in Arizona, no.
Yeah.
Marvin Lewis.
He sounds like he's just retired, but we don't know what happened.
You bring Lewis in, you're just bringing in a bunch of dead weight. I think Lewis should have been fired a long time ago. I'll tell you what, he had no control. He had no discipline in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I'm glad he got – finally, it took the Brown family forever to get rid of this guy. It's almost like they said, maybe this year we'll do a little bit better.
Well, again, there was what happened last year is Marvin Lewis stepped away and then came back, about 3 weeks later saying, nope, I'll be your head coach one more season. So who knows what happens with Marvin Lewis. But looking at, again, not out of work coaches, or at least former coaches, I mean, what about Jack Del Rio? Hugh Jackson, who's now with the Bengals? Will Cincinnati bring him up to take over the head coaching position there for Cincinnati? I seriously doubt it. How about you talk about a former head coach of Mike Shanahan? What about, again, a name that's been tossed around quite often so far, whose name is always kind of brought up in this situation? How about Josh McDaniels?
No, he already was a failure in Denver.
He did have the Tebow years where they did.
Yeah, but he was a failure in Denver, and they fired him.
I'm just saying, his name is being tossed up.
Adam Gase is looking for a job right now. I mean, I would think for the Denver Broncos. And you don't want an Urban Meyer. I mean,
And again, you already with Vance Joseph scouted the kind of college route. I don't think for Denver, for the Broncos, it's smart for them to look at what's going on at Division I of who might be looking to go up or who is without a job right now in NCAA. I think you got to go with someone who's been in the league, someone who's had that veteran kind of at least expertise as a head coach. Again, as much as it's probably awful to say welcome new head coach Hugh Jackson, but again, Jack Del Rio. Could you entertain Mike Shanahan? Will they entertain Mike Shanahan? I seriously doubt it. Again, Mike McCarthy.
I'm sure he'll be interviewed. I'm sure McCarthy will get an interview. I'm sure Jack Del Rio will be interviewed as well. I'm trying to think right now. No names are actually popping out. I mean, since the announcement of Joseph's firing. And again, I say this.
It's going to be a process that's going to take its time. It's nothing like, oh, here we go. Now we got a new head coach just a week after Vance is gone. But I think right now for the Denver Broncos, especially for one John Elway, this is a crucial decision. This is probably one of the biggest decisions of his GM kind of career.
And I don't think they're going to bring back Gary Kubiak.
That name has been tossed around.
I know they got him in the front office. I don't think they'll bring John Fox back. John Fox and John Elway did not get along. So, and again, John Fox, you look at the records that he had while he was there. He was 8-8, 13-3, 13-3, 12-4, 12-4. Got him to one Super Bowl, and then they laid an egg when they played Seattle. So I don't have a feel on who or what the Broncos will be looking for as their next head coach. But again, I stand on my little stoop right here to say Vance Joseph was put in a position to fail, and he did.
Yeah.
Not by his doing. And you said this, and we kind of made, and I don't want to use the word light, but we always commented on it, where Vance Joseph would come up to the microphone and take full responsibility for a loss.
And I never had an issue with that. Hey, that's kind of being the man thing about it, of saying, hey, this is my team. I'm the head coach of it. Again, these losses are on me, not my players or not my front office or anything. It's on me. For me, as we made light of it last season, playing those press conferences of saying it was a running joke, essentially. But I give him credit for that. Again, he stepped up, he manned up, and he took full responsibility. And again, what led it to him is now he's without a head coaching job.
Yeah, and again, if Vance Joseph was that superstar coach, and again, he's a good defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Again, most defensive coordinators, and you've given me grief about it because I say defense wins championships. You say, it doesn't work that way. Well,
the defensive-minded head coaches don't – it doesn't seem like they pan out again.
But
I'll look to our 49ers of a Mike Singletary defensive guy, and look what happened then. Granted, I feel like Mike Singletary was on the same plane as Vance Joseph, where he was put in a position that –
to fail.
Yeah, he wasn't going to be able to win with those 49er teams like Vance with these current Bronco teams.
And same thing, too. You look at what the 49ers drafted and what they traded for and signed as free agents.
Well, what they drafted, especially around those years, were players that eventually developed into those superstar athletes for the 49ers that eventually Jim Harbaugh took advantage of.
But look at Paxton Lynch, gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sanchez
you have
gone, everyone else, yeah.
Booker, he hasn't really panned out to be the great. I mean, Lindsey took over his position this year.
Yeah, and I think Lindsey, maybe it is a little small spark. Again, we only see a small kind of sample size from him, what is going to happen, especially coming off of this injury. But
the wide receiver position, except for Sanders.
Again, who's injured?
Suspect.
Yeah.
The offensive line is probably one of the worst.
Yeah, the offensive line needs some big retooling, even though they've addressed that in the draft, and they try to.
But the Broncos, and they've drafted
I think of recent drafts, your only one that kind of really panned out was Chubb. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one that's really made his mark right out of the box. Bulls, it was okay.
Nothing in great shape.
Yeah, I mean, but the offensive line is if I'm grading the offensive line, I give them a C-. Most of the quarterbacks, if you are a quarterback of the Denver Broncos over the last 3 years,
yeah,
you've been running for your life.
Pretty much.
You know, I can't throw all this on Case Keenum. No,
I would a little. Again,
He's
Case
not-
Keenum is not. He should not be a starting. He is not a franchise quarterback.
I understand, but how many times was the guy running for his life this year?
Quite a bit.
That's right.
Quite a bit.
And any quarterback. It doesn't
But he's
matter.
not a good ad libber, though. You can't find like a
I
Josh Allen who can
understand.
deal with that. Who again, look what Josh Allen did, leading the Bills for both rushing and passing yards on that team. Again, he is a good, talented. Josh Allen is your. After this rookie season, I think we can all say, yeah, he can be a franchise quarterback.
And
Case Keenum
guess
is
what?
not.
The Buffalo Bills are going to address their needs when it comes to the draft.
They better the offensive line.
Offensive line,
Yeah,
you got
better.
that right.
But for the Denver Broncos, this as much as they went in the positive route, at least if anything at all, they went positive in the win column compared to last season. So I guess there is.
That's not a positive. They won one more game than last year.
Yeah, I mean at least.
What are you saying?
You didn't do as bad as your counterparts, the Oakland Raiders.
He still dropped double digits this year.
Yeah.
You were 5-11 the year before, 6-10. What does that tell you? Oh wow,
You
we had a
improved-
really good draft.
You
this
improved
year.
one game better than so. Again, if anything, you're trending in the positive direction, as small as it may be. But this season, it felt like, and again, looking at this team, it looked like Broncos of last year. It looked like a team that was even worse compared to what they were dealing with last season. This is a team, again, the defense, it's not the no-fly zone anymore. Everything is flying against that defense. The offense is pretty much Cowboy worthy of just being pathetic, of where it is boring, predictable, and Case Keenum is not your quarterback at this point in time. You need to address that in the offseason as well. But
Well, he needs some competition.
I feel like
Kelly, who was the backup, and and basically he just fell under the radar.
Yeah.
For the Broncos this year, I'm not sure if he got hurt or not. But my point is, though, I mean, he just kind of fell under the radar. If you're going to go to the draft, Nick, and I saw the drafts the other day, I think the Broncos, if I'm not mistaken, they're going to be in the top 10 in drafting.
I think they're either number 9 or number 10. I can't
Either
remember.
way,
Yeah.
like I said,
Nothing spectacular.
You're going to come away with something decent.
Yeah, nothing
But
great.
again, when you're in the war room, okay, John Elway, Pro
Yeah.
Eddie, you are in the war room. What are you looking at? Obviously, the best player available. Is that a quarterback? Is that an offensive lineman? Do we need a wide receiver? Do I need a linebacker?
Would it
You
be
got problems everywhere on that team.
Yeah, again, with an aging Von Miller. Von Miller is your only spotlight there at linebacker, and also, too, again, with Bradley Chubb. Those are your two defensive highlights. The rest of the team you might as well just get rid of.
Well, you got to keep Harris healthy because now he doesn't have the likes of Talib back there and the other group that he had before. And they're going after him, and he took a lot of it on his shoulders. He put a lot of that defense on his shoulders.
At spot 8, 9, 10, whatever the hell the Broncos are at in this year upcoming draft, would it be smart for them to draft another quarterback? I don't think it would be. But I think quarterback is something that they definitely need to address. Again, Case Keenum, how you believe, again, of what have you done for me recently? Yeah, he had the one winning season in Minnesota and did absolutely nothing for you here in Denver.
But we all knew that.
We knew it.
Everybody.
The brass in Denver did it for whatever reason.
I think they got Keenum out of necessity. They didn't have anybody.
And they tried to pass it. They try again. The funny thing where maybe it was jaded eyes a bit down there in Denver for the Bronco fans of they tried to pass it off of that Case Keenum was going to be the end all be all for this franchise. There's no way.
Let's look at it though. Kaepernick was way too much.
Yeah.
So he basically outpriced himself. I'm glad they didn't go after Kirk Cousins. Cousins is not worth the money he's getting paid.
Yeah.
Okay.
He showed that he was even worse.
There's two of your quarterbacks that were available. Keenum was available. They got him kind of cheap.
Well, and
for 2 years.
And I think now looking back at what happened last offseason for the Broncos, this was more so of what I kind of caution about this upcoming draft for the Broncos is you can't draft another quarterback. You can't put fans through this once again as you've had QB draft busts, it seems like every single year. Again, here we bring in this guy, that guy, him, we're drafting him, we believe in him, and it hasn't worked. All right, so let's go with an established veteran. Sure, his numbers aren't the greatest. He had one great season with Minnesota. Let's kind of appease fans a bit going, all right, we're not going to draft a quarterback. It's blown up in our face. Let's try it out with a veteran.
I'm not all that excited about this upcoming class of quarterbacks that are coming out.
There's no one that really stands out.
well,
other than the guy out of West Virginia, I would say.
And does a kid from Oklahoma decide to go out, Murray?
Yeah, we'll see on what happens with that. And again,
And I like him. He's like
For me-
he's Baker Mayfield. He is NFL ready. And Baker Mayfield.
Well, I think he
everyone
is,
this
and also
year.
too, I think the other QB to keep a watch out is the guy out in West Virginia who's going to declare again. I can't remember his name, but
and he's good too.
he's very good. He was touted last year where he could have gone pretty high up in that draft if he were to exit early. So he's another one to keep an eye on. But is that someone, again, these quarterbacks, you look at the Raiders, again, who are going to be number 1. Number 2 right after them are the 49ers. Neither of them need a quarterback.
No, Arizona's number 1.
Yeah, that's right.
Raiders are 4.
Oh, 4. Anyway, so again, you look at, well, even for example, those teams right there. That's 3 spots right there in the top 5 that don't need a quarterback. Arizona with Josh Rosen. 49ers who have Jimmy G and also, too, again, with Nick Mullins. Where, again, we saw what Nick Mullins can do.
Go after a quarterback. No.
Oakland Raiders, I think they're all in with Carr. I think there is no indication right now unless new GM Mayock just
and then the kid from Michigan State too, the backup. Yeah. So,
but I think those 3 teams right there in the top 5 are pretty much set. They're not going to aim for Murray or any other quarterback. So is that something where the Denver Broncos, again, still being in that top 10,
right? Is
that something that they need to focus on? Of let's take it one more shot at drafting a franchise quarterback, because in the offseason, or at least trying to sign one, it's kind of it hasn't worked either.
But that franchise quarterback may be available. Think about it. Arizona, not going to go after any. They got Rosen.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Again, is Niners, that the smart thing for Denver to do?
Jets, they've got Darnold. Raiders, Tampa Bay. I think Jameis Winston. That they may be looking at a quarterback. Tampa.
Unless you go with Fitzpatrick, even though he had a small. He started out great and then just went.
I think Tampa goes after a quarterback. I think the Giants.
Yeah, the Giants should be
a quarterback. Jacksonville, they
with
should.
Portals, yeah,
they should.
He's worthless.
The Lions, they'll need somebody to come back. I think this might be the year they have somebody to get a backup in place.
But is that something where you'd use your kind of first-round pick on, again, where
you might?
I think with Stafford, you're pretty much set. Stafford needs pieces around him. He needs offensive weapons.
Stafford's beat up, though.
He's getting beat up because he has nothing there to protect him.
The Bills, obviously, they go number 9.
Set.
They're set. Broncos at number 10. By the time they get to the Broncos,
like I said,
3 quarterbacks might be gone. And there might be about a half dozen quarterbacks.
And the also interesting team in that top 10, as well as we need to get to a break here soon, is the 49ers. Again, a team that's in pretty good position right now, top 5 draft pick.
Number 2,
they're pretty much set on what they need. Again, as you look at who is eligible to get drafted and who's kind of on those top boards for whoever is kind of listing them, but the 49ers, that might be a team that might be willing to say, hey, Denver, if you want your quarterback or if you want something better, we'll gladly trade with you. We'll gladly
make us an offer we can't refuse.
Absolutely. I think 49ers, that's an interesting team to keep an eye out of. Maybe they can work out a deal with the Broncos or someone to go, hey, we don't really need this spot. Have at it.
How would you like to be the new GM of the Oakland Raiders? And you have picks number 28, picks number 24, and, of course, you're in the top 5 at number 4.
It's his dream. I'm just saying it's a dream for Mike Mayock, where, again, coming off of NFL Network, where, again, the guy who has made up those draft boards, who's told teams what to pick, he's going to have that opportunity coming up in April.
So, and again, you look at the Raiders. They're similar to the Broncos, except for the quarterback position. If we're going to say Carr's in place, okay, I'll leave it at that. But they do have holes in the offensive line.
Right, the Raiders have a lot of problems.
But most of their angst right now is defense.
I think most of their angst right now is figuring out where they're going to play next season.
And you know what? They probably have played the last game in the Coliseum.
I hope so.
Right now, there is no movement one way or the other.
Anyways, we need to take a break.
All right, we're going to take a quick timeout. We'll come back. Gosh, we've taken this thing already to the top of the hour. We'll be back after these words right here in 1480 KRAE. Your locally owned and operated radio stations, KYOI-FM and 1480 KRAE-AM, are just that, local, serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local, too.
It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here, we shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOY and 1480 KRAE.
Cowboy fans, wrestling season is in full swing. The Cowboys are ranked number 18 in the country and return home on Friday, January 4th to host the Cowboy Shootout in the Arena Auditorium. This 4-team event will see the Cowboys take on 12th-ranked North Carolina at 4:30 p.m., followed by Army at 6 p.m. and American University at 7:30. All duels will be held in the Arena Auditorium. Get your tickets today at GoWIO.com or call 307-766-7220. Don't miss an exciting evening of wrestling as Wyoming hosts the Cowboy Shootout on Friday, January 4th.
It's said that membership has its rewards, and at First Education Federal Credit Union, that is especially true. At First Education, members are the owners and get lower loan rates, higher yields on deposits, full online services including a mobile app, and more. We are personalized banking your way, local and a member of the Cheyenne community since 1947. Call 432-7400, go to firstedfcu.com, or visit in person at 120 West Carlson Street. Membership eligibility required, federally insured by NCUA.
You love the Lennox difference, from collision repair to minor nicks and dents. Certified quality you can trust. Nobody cares about your car more than us. Lennox Auto Body, we do what we say. We fix it right and get you on your way. No shortcuts, no compromise. Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue and the Detail Center at 617 East Pershing Boulevard, Cheyenne.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Style and value come out strong on the newly redesigned 2019 Kia Forte. AJ Miller here for Kia of Cheyenne, and the Kia Forte has new performance improvements and technology innovations that rival the competition, and Forte is priced less. Right now, during our Light Up the Holiday sales event, you could save even more on the new 2019 Kia Forte. Compare Forte to Cruze, Corolla, or Jetta and see that the Kia Forte offers you even more for less money. Come by or go to KiaofCheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
In life, you question everything. The same should be true when it comes to managing your wealth. What are your investment recommendations based on? How much are you paying in fees? And how can those fees impact your returns? Charles Schwab encourages investors to get engaged and ask tough questions. To learn more, call the Schwab Cheyenne branch at 307-459-0998 or visit schwab.com/Cheyenne. Charles Schwab and Company, Incorporated. Member SIPC.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Well, as we open up our first show of the new year, and really we weren't supposed to be on today. Not that we are disappointed being here. We should have been on the road in Alamosa, Colorado, bringing you LCCC Lady Golden Eagles basketball to kick off the new year. But unfortunately, the junior varsity squad basically said, we quit.
Pretty much. Again, no one wanted
Put
to
a fork at us. We're done.
As much as things were already pretty rough for the varsity squad there at Adams State, as again from what I remember looking at their schedule, or at least standings, they were 1-8. So and they've pretty much they were getting whipped around there in the 2018 kind of early part of the campaign. So so for LCCC, it just kind of hurts them a bit. We're again unable to get into action after the lengthy Christmas break. They're gonna have to wait even longer until they play again next Thursday here in town. So yes, again. We're supposed to have LCCC action today, but I guess it gives me a break as we will have instead high school action coming up again 3 days in a row. Taco John's Invite Friday, Saturday, or at least Thursday, Friday, and Saturday here on 1480 KRAE.
Don't really have a lot of time here before we get to the top of the hour to get into the NFL, because we do need to talk about that. We also need to talk about college football. We got college hoops.
Yeah, Cowboys. That Saturday game was just pathetic.
You know, and again, we'll get into that here in the 4 o'clock hour, because you texted a picture from the arena auditorium.
A picture of it was pretty much 1 minute before game time.
Yeah, and if there was 3,600 fans there, I don't believe,
unless someone was kind of.
This is all based on ticket sales. It had to be based on tickets.
It had to be, unless the person counting had a little double vision, because there was no way there was even
3,000. There wasn't. Yeah, 1,500 people in that
Not
place.
even.
And that was a very, very sparse crowd.
And again, it's a crowd saying, or at least kind of not showing up, and basically giving their sentiments of how they feel about Cowboy basketball right now in the 2018-2019 calendar, at least season. So anyways.
What I was going to say is, and while we have the short period of time, and I don't want to say I grew up with him, I was already in my adult life. I guess you, as I got you involved in the sports entertainment field, one of the voices from
he's iconic.
He is iconic. Yeah.
When I got into it, he was over on WCW. So
yeah, Mean Gene Okerlund passing away.
Guy who opened his Mean Gene Burger joint here in town.
Burgers, remember that? Yeah. Anyway, Mean Gene, 76, I do believe it was, that he passed away. So a long career with Vince McMahon in the WWE. And matter of fact, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm still doing some cameo stuff with him, or from time to time, because
Hall of Famer with the WWE, again, always brought him back for any kind of gimmicks or whatever, at least kind of old school interviews to have for Mean Gene. So,
but it again, as this is sports entertainment, you had one of him and Jim Ross. I'll pick him out, but these guys are the quintessential type of announcers and interviewers, because they would be great. They were great at ad-libbing, and they could take the shtick as far as you wanted them to go. And again, he had the pipes to back it up, and he was just a part of that entertainment field that is the
again, you look back and it's something that we're again thankful to have the WWE Network. Nowadays, again, with the video on demand and again, YouTube or wherever you find any visualization of, again, Mean Gene, it's, again, iconic moments, whether it was with Macho Man Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, again, the training montage with him and Hulk. Again, it's...
And he was given the name Mean Gene by Jesse the Body Ventura.
Yeah.
So, and then, of course, the Body, when he became... after his wrestling days, became part of the broadcast crew back then, became Mean Gene. All right, so we just thought we'd throw that in there real quick. Again, one of the WWE legends passing away today at age 7.
And again, I think an iconic character that in pop culture, I would think majority of folks knew that name. Again, with being associated with Hulk Hogan, I would say, again, Pulse of the Nation probably knew who Mean Gene was. Again, he was an iconic character that was developed, again, around wrestling.
All right. We are going to come right back after we do the legal thing here and get ready for hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk today.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And welcome to hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk today. Still a lot to talk about. Our program in hour number 2, like hour number 1, brought to you by Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, Mondello's Pizzeria. Paisan cuisine at its best, and if you are looking for delicious Italian meals, Our buddy Caesar cooks them up along with Joey. Check out La Osteria Mondello. Yeah, the restaurant open up, 3 days a week. You get there and you can enjoy some good old coziness of Little Italy. First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. By the way, Mondello's and Low Street Mondello, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. First Tier Bank across the street, open Monday through Friday. Lennox Auto Body, located on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard. Medicap Pharmacy on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Platte Valley Bank, the original location on Vanda High, the east side location, corner of College and Pershing. Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way as they're ready to kick off the 2019 model year, and they got some good-looking Kias on the lot right now. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range, serving up 3 squares, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Monday through Saturday, right across from Menards. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service on Highway 30. Check out what is on the lot today, and they've got some good old-fashioned Jayco products that they have marked down that you are going to enjoy the savings right now at Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. And we also want to thank our good friends over at Taco John's of Cheyenne tonight. Yeah, you've been living it up all during the holiday season. Maybe grab a 6-pack at a pound so you don't have to cook tonight.
I thought it was Tuesday. It's Wednesday, so
Wednesday.
I was going to suggest you offer the other thing, but I don't know what the hell day it is.
I bought lunch earlier today, and you didn't thank. You never say thank you. You ever notice that?
I don't need to. You should be thanking me.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why. No, never mind. I won't talk about what was going through my mind there, because I know the FCC is still in business at least until tomorrow afternoon.
Unfortunately.
All right, our scoreboard is forthcoming, and it's brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's what's his budget.
Yeah, anyways, NHL action for tonight. You will see the Ottawa Sens take on the Vancouver Canucks at Canadian Tire Center. Calgary Flames in Detroit taking on the Red Wings. The New York Rangers in Madison Square Garden playing host of the Pittsburgh Penguins. New Jersey Devils in Dallas taking on the Stars at American Airlines Center. In the Pepsi Center down there in Denver, Colorado, the Colorado Avalanche playing host of the San Jose Sharks. That game will get underway at 7:30 tonight, and you can see it on NBC Sports Network. And last but not least, the Edmonton Oilers head all the way down to Phoenix, Arizona to play the Arizona Coyotes at Gila River Arena. That's what's happening NHL action for tonight.
Thank you, Poster Child, for contraception. In the NBA, it's the Mavericks taking on the Hornets tonight in Charlotte, North Carolina. Heat and Cavaliers at the Quicken Loans Arena. Hawks and the Wizards tonight, Capital One Arena in D.C. Pelicans and the Nets in the Barclays Center. Timberwolves Celtics, TD Garden. Magic Bulls in the United Center. The Memphis Grizz at home, hosting the Detroit Pistons in the FedEx Forum. Talking Stick Resort Arena in Phoenix has the Suns hosting the 76ers. Lakers and the Thunder tonight at Staples. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
All right, we are back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. It is the opening night for the Mountain West Conference.
And I'm more excited on the women's side, again, as it'll be Boise State playing host to Wyoming Cowgirls. Cowgirls 7-2, Boise State 9-2. That will be a fun one there up in Boise, Idaho. But, I mean, coming up at least here, or at least over the hill in Laramie, the Cowboys, 4-9, Boise State, they're nothing too special as well. Yeah, I guess Mountain West play is here, or at least on the men's side. As much as, again, for the Cowboys, this season's a wash.
Well,
don't expect anything from this team. This is, and going back to Saturday's game, you did not want to go, or at least you didn't join gallivant with me over to Laramie, as since we at least this past weekend had kind of the open availability, no LCCC, no high school, so I took it upon myself to go catch and see what's all about this Cowboys team as we played host to Dixie State, a team out of the RMAC.
And how many guys were suited up?
Maybe 9.
And how many of them actually could play? Not 9.
What are we talking about?
There's like 3 guys in walking casts right now, aren't there?
Oh, you're talking the Cowboys.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about Dixie State. I think I only counted like 9.
Cowboys right now kind of remind me of Hoosiers.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in walking boots right now. A lot of crutches.
The ball guy needs to suit up for them.
Pretty much. Again, that bench, or at least that team, is kind of depleted right now with injuries. There's a lot of folks, again, with walking boots, with, again, crutches out there for the Wyoming Cowboys. They are pretty much kind of bare. It's barren right now over in Laramie for the Cowboys. But, again, this Saturday it kind of showed as well, too, taking on Dixie State. The at least team out of the RMAC, a Division II opponent coming to Laramie. Also to a Division II opponent, Dixie State, a team that has only beaten one Division I school, and that was UNLV back in 2013. Well, they almost came away with win number 2 against a Division I team against the Wyoming Cowboys, even though the Cowboys, last-second shot there in the second half, again, the last-second 3, vaulted them to the victory again.
Trace Young, who hit the 3-point. Here's the deal, and you mentioned this afternoon. We were talking about it. I have not been one here on the program calling for the head of Alan Edwards. I
haven't either.
And the thing
there are folks out there again. And again, I'll reiterate of what I'm seeing, the rumblings. Again, social media obviously gives everyone that opinion, but we are at that point where we were earlier this season with Craig Bull. We are at that point in time right now with one Alan Edwards that people, and again, not a majority, not saying it's a minority, not saying here or this. It's of what I've been seeing of a few folks out there, again, probably don't speak for the majority of Cowboy fans.
But again, coming off a couple of 20-win seasons, again, when he took over for Larry Shyatt, cupboard wasn't bare. I mean,
no.
These are the kids they had brought in as well. But the thing is, since the departure of Larry Shyatt, and even though Jeremy Shyatt's still on staff with Alan Edwards, it seems like the recruiting of the basketball talent has really dropped off.
Well, and this is that year for Coach Alan Edwards where, again, that recruiting plays a little factor in his starting lineup, or at least plays a little bit more of a majority across his team than it has in previous seasons, and I think it's showing, it's kind of rearing its ugly head a little bit.
But also, too, the recruits aren't wowing the fans.
No, not really.
And again,
the only one that is wowing fans would be, again, a Justin James, but wasn't recruited by one Alan Edwards.
Well, but I'm just saying, though, that this is where you're hearing the boo birds, all over Alan Edwards' case. Again,
I wouldn't even say it was bluebirds. It was pretty much crickets there at Saturday.
I know, but I'm just saying what you're talking about on the social media sites. And again, you take them for what they're worth.
Everyone's got an opinion on social media. They're going to say whatever. But again, it's something that is now rearing its ugly head.
But this is a team. This could be a team, and I think we mentioned it the last time we were here. This could be a team that may not get to 10 wins this year.
I don't think it will. I think that now, especially seeing what I saw this Saturday, this is a team that's going to be thankful if they do hit double digits. They should be very thankful that they win a select at least a handful of games in the Mountain West Conference.
And it doesn't matter with the healthy bodies or not. It doesn't matter. They're just not good.
Well, you have that small sample size at the beginning of the season where, you weren't without a Maldonado. You had your healthy pieces there. They were still struggling against the likes of Niagara. They were faulting against lower echelon teams that you probably should not be losing to, especially there in Laramie, Wyoming. But
I look back now over the years, and you can say what you want to say about the Brandenburg years, and that was great that they got to the Sweet 16. But I look when Benny Dees was the head coach. following Jim Brandenburg. And he had Dick Lean in as his assistant coach. He had Ray Jones, who had done some work at North Carolina. These guys knew how to go out and recruit.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand recruiting these days is tough. I mean, let's be real. And there's so many restrictions on recruiting and what have you. But these guys could bring, the likes of Theo Ratliff and Reginald Slater and Timmy Breaux. They can bring these kids, Maurice Alexander.
I'll ask the question, is it really that tough, though? Is it just about the same? Again, question that we kind of asked both Coach Ortmeyer and Coach Ficca with LCCC. There are benefits of where, again, 2018 is compared to early 2000s, the 1990s, 1980s, where, again, you do have the beauty of social media.
Mm-hmm.
You can outreach to here in Cheyenne, Wyoming. We can talk to folks in Stockholm, Sweden. We can get folks from, again, those international players to say, and at least be aware of that there is basketball happening in the state of Wyoming. It might be a little bit tough, but is it really tough enough in this day and age for a Division I coach like an Alan Edwards, again with the Wyoming Cowboys, also to a head coach where you got a lot of talent within probably about 150 mile radius within Laramie, Wyoming, whether it is your high school programs, whether it is your local JUCO programs. And I'll even include LCCC. You'll even include, again, a nationally ranked JUCO squad in Scottsbluff of western Nebraska.
Which most of the guys will probably go east.
Oh, yeah, they'll find bigger and better schools. But I'm just saying.
But the thing is, too, I don't really know.
There are opportunities, though, to take this talent. Again, we look at one, Landon Talaferro, who went to Connecticut.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, Nick, where you look at football and, you see now they're focusing on trying to get back on the left coast, where Joe Tiller
the California route
was very successful with, quarterback U there. I don't know where Coach Edwards focuses on his recruiting and who's out there, getting on the phone to him saying, Coach, you got to, get online, check out so-and-so player. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know where the focus is for the recruiting, but this year's class,
it's a situation where it's
I throw my arms up. This year's class.
Again, the mantra of this university, again, it's one Wyoming. It's one team for the state. Yet, yes, again, with Hunter Thompson, you did get your local talent out of Pine Bluffs. Say what you will. Again, it's good to see a local talent play for the Cowboys, but again, he's a local talent that was playing 1A, 2A basketball, and it's kind of showing right now that he's kind of having difficulty right now.
He's played in the AAU ranks, I mean, and I look at a kid here, and again, he's a sophomore, Lawson Lovering. We were talking about this before we got on the air. Now, it's not a for sure that he's going to go to UW. It's not a for sure that he's going to LCCC. Wherever Lawson Lovering ends up, power to him. The thing is, he's still got a couple more years to grow.
Yeah.
A couple more years to fill out. But like I said earlier in our program, he's got to have a supporting cast. If you don't have a supporting cast, this guy's going to get beat up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Hunter Thompson could get away with that in 1A, 2A. Class 4A is a little different breed.
Yeah.
And you got kids in Class 4A that are 6'7", 6'6", 6'5".
And going to be wide,
big. They're built like aircraft carriers.
Yeah, wide bodies as well, too, that are going to be physical. So
he's going to get bumped around. And then they're going to go into Colorado. And they're going to play some tough competition down there as well.
Class 5A, Class 4A, whatever it may be.
So,
down there.
and this is no knock against Hunter Thompson. But again, he got a little of his education when he was playing in those AAU teams, during the summer. Well, Lawson Lovering's doing the same thing, too. He's playing now AAU. We had Coach Tag Laner, who was very, very happy with his progress because everybody was on him last year as a freshman. The guy was 14 years old last year. He's 15 this year. And he's grown a couple more inches, but already he's starting to, open up some eyes.
Yeah.
Now, whether their eyes are open over in Laramie or here locally, I don't know.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he would be more, to me, Lawson Lovering will be more battle-tested if he gets, a few more pounds on him, grows a couple more inches. Yes, I think he'll be better battle-tested than Hunter Thompson. But the thing is with the Cowboys,
Again, getting back on track, though, with the University of Wyoming, especially on the men's basketball side there under Coach Alan Edwards, is it something that – is he overlooking local high school talent, or at least especially in the Class 4
He
ranks?
must not see talent here locally.
Is he too focused on a Colorado? Is he too focused on a California? And again, I'm just saying, I'm not even just saying the high school ranks. I think you even expanded to here in the state of Wyoming of how many JUCO products that we do have there. Again, whether it's LCCC, you go up. Casper College has a very decent men's program. Gillette, Sheridan. You can even look at Northwest, maybe even Central Wyoming, maybe even Eastern Wyoming, Western Wyoming there in Rock Springs. We have many JUCO opportunities, JUCO products within the state of Wyoming.
But he does not want to go the JUCO route. See, Benny Dees didn't mind doing that.
Yeah,
I remember when he was coaching. And I think I think the philosophy is still the same as when Larry Scheidt was there. You have them as a freshman.
Yeah, you get them the full 4 years instead of 2 or 3.
And you could even redshirt them a year or two as well.
Yeah, you can develop them under your system instead of here. All right, so you learned under Jason Ficka's system. Now you got to learn under mine. It's going to be a little mixed communication. I mean, let's be honest. It's still at its core. You're playing basketball, but yeah, I understand that if you want to basically you want to just kind of take this player from its infancy and develop it.
Well, technically, you'll have the player 5 to play 4.
Yeah.
If you go that route. And I think that's what Coach Edwards is trying to do. He's trying to, as you say, mold, develop the kids into the Alan Edwards system of UW basketball. But the thing is,
and more power to him, but is it something that to get this program under the winning ways where, yes, Kentucky can do that, Duke can do that, North Carolina can do that, those upper echelon programs across the country can mold those freshmen into the powerhouse teams year in and year out.
And right now he is being judged by wins and losses. And I can tell you where he's being judged at. Look at the turnstiles. Don't tell me about the talent that comes in there, the Dixies and the Niagaras. If the team boat races Niagara 100-63, I guarantee you there'll be 6,000-7,000 people there.
Oh yeah, that's what you're expecting. Again, not a close 2-point victory over a Dixie State team. Again, a team that comes into Laramie, Wyoming, has only won in the program's history, one win against a Division I opponent. That was UNLV back in 2013, and almost defeated another Division I team this past Saturday. Wyoming had no business winning that game. They came, again, a 3-point at the last few seconds. Again, that's how they walked away with a victory against Dixie State, a team that was sub-500 as well, is a team in the RMAC, a Division II team, and you struggled against them at home. Let's be honest.
Well, and here's the deal, too, and I think we kind of missed this as fans. To get good teams to come our way,
it's hard.
That's the first thing. A lot of teams want to come to.
Well, even Coach Edwards has said on this program, said with us of how hard it is, and again, I understand that. You run in where again the Dome. It's called the Dome of Doom for a reason. Not a whole lot of teams come in there and win. Again, what we saw this year with UNC, at least Northern Colorado, what they did last season and this season, was the first time in history a team coming in and winning back-to-back years, a non-conference opponent winning back-to-back times there in Laramie. It's never been done.
Well, but you're also a tough sell now. You want to get it because most schools, the bigger schools, are going to want a 2-for-1. You come out to our place twice. Some do one-on-ones.
Yeah.
But the thing is, look who you. It's like, do we really want to play this team? What are we going to gain by beating them?
Yeah.
I mean, they look who they lost to.
You lose more than you gain, especially again for like an Ohio State to come out to Laramie of, well, we got to pay you, and then we're going to whip on you, and it's not really going to improve our team once we get into Big Ten action.
Yeah, I mean, our second teams are going to get half the game in. I mean, the way the condition of the program is now, this is why we get not good products coming into the AA. We're not a good team.
Yeah,
and we're getting the best that's available,
especially with a Niagara, with a Dixie State. Yeah, it's pretty much of what's a local team. Can you play basketball? Yeah, come on into Laramie.
Well, I'm just saying though.
But again,
look at the team we got on the floor right now.
As you're getting away from my at least point though with the Cowboys, or at least what is kind of the main theme right now is this a program? Is this what Alan Edwards needs to continue to do of going after those, building up those 4-year players where again it can develop under his system, or does he need to look at JUCO products within the area. Needs to look at those
He has
established
to
college
do it
players.
intermingling. I think it would not hurt him to grab
And
a
I
couple
think I think that would be what is best for Coach Allen Edwards, for the Wyoming Cowboys, is to bring in these talent, these players from these JUCO systems.
At least make them an offer.
Yeah, of saying, hey, you've had college experience. Again, it is junior college. They're playing against other teams, whether it is from Nebraska, from Colorado, from Utah, from Idaho, wherever. Again, they're still playing against teams that play across the country, teams that are competitive. Again, they're competing for a national championship as well, too, albeit it might be, again, a junior college national championship, but they're getting experience, though. They're playing in what is essentially, they're moving up from the college ranks and playing those 20-minute halves.
Right.
They're learning that.
Well, and they're also, they're learning the college game.
Again, they're developing under coaches who are built to win those region championships, to win those national championships.
You know, a lot of these coaches, again, in the JUCO ranks, are pretty doggone good coaches. They're not just guys that, I'll take the job and give me $5,000.
Well, you look here in town with Jason Ficca, where looking through his stats again, he's been with the program, 14, 15 years. He's been there for quite some time. From what I saw, again, of looking back at previous
12 season,
Again, looking back of his tenure here at LCCC, I don't think once he's had a losing year.
Well, the point is with Coach Ficca, look at in his 12th season, and he's embarking on win number 200.
Yeah,
since he's taken over the program, and again, he's had Coach Salisbury with him through the whole run. Again, stability in the basketball program, and I think Coach Edwards is trying to do that too. He's trying to, since Larry Scheid has left, with him and Jeremy, they're trying to keep that stability in the basketball program. But to be real honest, the brand of basketball is just not good. Is it talented? Yeah, there is some shining
I think you have
stars.
Again with Maldonado, again with Justin James. Yeah, you have the talent there.
And
it's just getting
potential maybe with
misused.
Hunter Thompson.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, it's not a wow team. If it's a wow team, and you said it best, you went Saturday, I didn't want to go.
I kind of regret going.
Back in the day, it's like, come on, let's go. I didn't
It's
care
almost
who
a waste to take a gas.
I didn't care who we were playing. Let's go. And back then I was working.
This team is not that team. This is a team where, especially here we are in 2018, I'll watch it on Facebook Live. Maybe
if I have to clean the house, I'll clean the house instead of going to a Cowboy game.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't wow me. And now with all of the injuries, and I don't know how many bodies are going to suit up tonight against a probably just as weak Boise State team.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe this might be the best shot for the Cowboys to win tonight in a Mountain West game.
Something tells me they don't. I really don't. Again, of what I saw against Dixie State is not better than a Boise State Broncos team that's going to come into the AA. Let's be honest with ourselves. But again, Dixie State found a way to put up a fight. There's no guarantee that even the Cowboys beat San Jose State this year. And San Jose State is not that great.
Well, everybody, and again, you looked at on the schedule. You said, "Hey, San Jose State, boom, we should get one there."
It's kind of
Air
like
Force was a minimum. We should get a split.
Well,
now these are all I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're at the point in time right now with the Cowboys basketball program. We were right now with the football program. You kind of pencils in. Yeah, they should. We looked at even in the preseason as we previewed this team of going. Yeah, they should probably take care of San Jose State. They should probably maybe split a pair with a UNLV or a New Mexico or one of those kind of upper echelon Mountain West teams. Now you kind of go and you reflect back of what we kind of the point where we were with football of going, can they beat San Jose State? Can they beat really anyone in the Mountain West at this point in time? Again, you got to realize that this team is dead last in the Mountain West. They're tied there with San Jose State. It's been one of the worst teams in the Mountain West.
And don't kid yourself. Over the last 3-4 years, even while Larry Scheid was there, the fans weren't coming out to watch this team play. I mean, there weren't the 10,000 fans out there.
No, and I think fans right now they're reciprocating that, and they're taking their time, their money, and their effort, and they're giving it to the Wyoming Cowgirls. and I think respectively so. Again, of consistency of a winning tradition. You talk about stability. You have the utmost stability right now with the Wyoming Cowgirls under Joe Legursky. They're 7-2. They got one of the tonight. They have the better matchup, and they have probably the best matchup tonight in all of the Mountain West, of whether it's men or women. Again, 9-2 Boise State playing host to the 7-2 Wyoming Cowgirls.
And with the Cowgirls, this is one of the things too that we kind of kept this under the radar with Joe Legursky. But yeah, there's a very good chance that this team could, not going to say they will, could vie for the Mountain West Conference Championship.
Oh, yeah.
Could they be a top 1, 2, 3 team? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, looking forward to that.
But I'm just saying, I think right now Wyoming fans are more, and you look at kind of attendance trending right now between the two, I think those former men basketball, at least fans that used to watch that product, realize it's gone a little sour. And now we're saying, hey, Coach Legursky, I like what you're doing. It's been consistent throughout your entire coaching career with the Wyoming Cowgirls. I'll take the money that was going to the boys, I'll give it to your girls instead.
Well, and I'm sure he'll take that with open arms.
And
but also too, he's also a Wyoming coach who supports the Cowboys as well, and he wants to make sure too that
I get that. I'm just talking more on the fan side again.
I understand that.
Fans are saying, I'm going to go with consistency. I'm going to go with what is winning right now.
They want to go where they're going to be wowed. And right now, the Cowgirls, even though it's a different brand of basketball, men's basketball, women's basketball,
but it's a consistent basketball that will win.
It's a program that has been consistent. Absolutely, it doesn't have peaks and valleys. It doesn't win, NCAA tournaments, but they usually are on the receiving end of some postseason berths. Some really nice postseason accolades. So
I think in recent history, again, 2018 going back to 2000, the year 2000, I think the Cowgirls have probably the more impressive winning at least championships of any team, or at least any feat, again, winning the WNIT. Again, remember what that did to that AA for Laramie, for the Wyoming Cowgirls program, again, defeating a Wisconsin team back then. I think that was probably the most impressive thing compared to both, again, on the men and women's side. That was probably the most impressive thing of recent memory between those two teams.
Absolutely.
And again, the Cowboys have had how many bursts into the NCAA? They won the Mountain West tournament. But I think what has been more impressive, again, in 18 years, at least of the sample size that I'm choosing of, what stands out more than anything is that WNIT championship that they brought home, again, defeating in Laramie in front of a packed crowd there at the AA, defeating a Wisconsin team.
Well, and you look at the year that the Cowboys under Larry Shyatt went to the NCAA tournament, first-round exit.
Yeah.
I mean, they got beat right away. They were done. So, I mean, and it wasn't even close. I mean, that's how quick it was for them. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We'll come back. We got to get into some football talk after these words right here in 1480 KRAE.
Bad cough or the flu got you down? Dr. Howard Willis, with over 23 years of medical experience, is now your local physician for family health and primary care. Located at 1616 East 19th Street with Dr. Joseph Dobson, Dr. Willis offers that wise counsel to get you back on the road to good health. DOTs and walk-ins are always welcome. So next time a bad cold or flu grabs you, call Dr. Willis at 631-8430. That's 631-8430.
Did you know that in rural parts of Laramie County, electricity is inexpensive and reliable because of electric co-ops like High West Energy? As an electric co-op based in Pine Bluffs, High West Energy is owned by our customers who share in the profits. We serve 10,000 customers in 3 states, including 20 subdivisions surrounding Cheyenne and F.E. Warren Air Force Base. We have been providing low-cost, reliable electricity for over 75 years, keeping energy affordable for 75 years. HighWestEnergy.com.
A Touchstone Energy partner.
Feeling that cool Wyoming breeze in the early morning? So now's the time to make sure your furnace is in good repair. And Marv's Plumbing Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue is the place to go. Marv's trained technicians can inspect, repair, and replace your furnace and boiler and are available 24/7. Freezing temperatures in Wyoming can happen at any time. No one wants to shiver in their own home. Don't get the chills. Stay cozy. Call Marv's Plumbing and Heating at 316-7634 today.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 37 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15. And for tonight, it'll be clear skies with lows around 17 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 49. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 29.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Only 49 days until pitchers and catchers report for spring training. Oh, I'm looking so forward to it. The NFL, the No Fun League. Definitely. You know when this season is over, Nick, and again, I know the egos that will be in the room first of the NFL Blasts, featuring one Roger Goodell.
Yeah.
How they are going to address the complaints, the empty seats that we're getting more and more throughout the course of the year. And again, I know a lot of, back in the day, when your team was out of it, you still went to an NFL game because, hey, the Raiders were in town. You wanted to go see the Raiders play. Well, now it's like my team's 3-12. Who cares? I'm not even going to go.
Well, also, too, again, you look at prices.
And you paid for the seat.
Yeah, but again, you look at prices of just how out of control they've gotten in the NFL right now. Again, to pay for these billion-dollar stadiums, to pay for these billion-dollar payrolls. Again, for every little luxury that you can find there. Again, fans are kind of, they're basically saying, hey, times are a little tough, and I don't feel like paying triple digits to watch, again, a Raider Bronco encounter anymore when both teams are out of it. Again, 49ers Broncos, both teams clearly, Broncos at the time had an outside shot, but neither team was looking like to make it to the playoffs.
But again, you talk about the product in the National Football, as I was referring to the product of the Wyoming Cowboys. The product's not good.
Well, the product isn't good, but also, too, again, the issue as well is something that I just mentioned is, again, prices are just way too extreme. Again, you add with parking, you add with tickets, you add with concessions. Again, to get a little cheapo hot dog at most of these games are now like $15. To get a little small soda is about $12. I mean, it's essentially where if you are a family, even if you're trying to go out with your buddies, it's almost something that you have to kind of save up for quite some time to attend one of these games.
But also, too, this has become the No Fun League. Case in point, if you watch Sunday night's game, very critical game for Tennessee and Indianapolis.
It was deciding who was going to make it to the playoffs.
Win, you're in. That was the bottom line. Yeah. If you tied, the Steelers were going to get in.
Yep.
So there was a stretch, and I might be wrong, and I want to say in the second half there was a stretch of 7 consecutive plays with a flag.
Yeah.
Now, I understand the intensity of the game. I understand that, yes, you're going to make a mistake here and there, but 7 flags in a row? I mean, come on. You know, and again, I don't know, too, and I'm not going to throw the onus all on the referees, because they are bogged down with the dumbest rules interpretations.
Well, I think that's why you see also too lengthy delays in the challenges or instant replays, because again you have to. All right, now we got to discuss it with everyone. Now we got to send it back to wherever the headquarters to figure out. All right, if this is right. All right, let's double check it. Are we sure about this? Where's the placement? Where's the spotting of the ball? Which side of the field is it on? Again, there's a million things that now go into all this. I mean, hell, we're at the point in time where now we have to replay to make sure every touchdown should stand.
It's ridiculous.
It's delaying the game. It's something. And again, I'll go back to my new favorite league at least exists coming up here in 1 year, 1 year's time. The XFL they're already saying, hey, everything that we're seeing right now in the NFL, we're making it quicker. We're making it simpler.
sorry to say though, Nick, and I'm glad that the XFL is going to come. They're going to fail again. Spring football is going to fail.
We'll see.
Again, I would rather.
Again, as you're right now complaining about the NFL.
I am complaining about it.
The XFL is saying, you complaining fan, come over and watch our product in the spring.
And I'm not gonna watch you if I got a chance to go watch the Giants or I got a chance to go to the Rockies. I'm not going to give up baseball because it's baseball season. It's not football season. Or I got a chance to go see the Warriors play. I'm going to go watch the Warriors. That's more important to me. It's playoff time. Who cares about spring football? And again,
I think fans are going to, because again,
it's historically proven.
Because they're coming after people like you, again, where you're just whining about the things. And again, NFL is not going to do anything about it. They haven't for quite some time. They're going to go, hey, you whining fan, here's an opportunity to watch something.
And you know what whining fan does now? Whining fan doesn't watch it. And if I watch a game, I've got it on NFL Red Zone, so I don't have to watch an entire game. I can do other things. But when I have to sit down and watch a Sunday night game that has some importance like it did here the other night,
yeah,
and then I watch, and then I understand why I don't watch NFL anymore. Because it sucks. From the rules committee. See, when the rules committee sits down this year, what stupid things are they going to come up with this year? I think pretty soon on the quarterback, you're going to put a flag on him. I mean, really, because one time it's roughing the passer, and the next time it's not. And the next time that it's not, the guy gets clobbered where he's ready to vomit.
Well, yeah, again, it's a matter of it's a matter of milliseconds, essentially. Of that was a flag and that wasn't. The rules almost seem like they're made up once we get on the field. A play where you don't know what you're doing, and I think it's something you don't fault for the refs. Something that you were saying of there's so many rules you can't keep up with all of it. It's pretty much reading a dictionary. It's almost reading an encyclopedia where you have to retain so much information that they get maybe a little confused. I mean, we've seen NFL refs have those.
Not a little confused, a lot confused.
Well, there have been instances where you see refs kind of have that moment of going, well, wait, where's the ball supposed to be at? You kind of get that, just kind of have that short circuit kind of memory moment there where, it's almost like, where the hell am I at this point? Because you're so bogged down of, okay, so he got hit here. He can't get here lower than this kind of area. You're looking out for a million different things right now where it's hard to keep up with everything.
What's targeting? What's a late hit? I mean.
What's a forward pass?
Holding, face mask. Before, if you go back, you didn't have 90% of these penalties back in the day. I mean, and it's like right now, they've got every part of the body can be penalized, so to speak. And it's a joke. It really is a joke. They have turned the NFL is the no fun league.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of whiners, and you turn the fans, like Mr. Pro Eddie here, into whiners because it's like, I don't want to watch it. It sucks. And you're trying to tell me on the XFL. I watched it, and I told you I watched that special. Why Vince McMahon failed in the XFL.
Well, that's then. This is now.
I know they've had 10 years to work on it, and I understand that they probably will. But again, I'm telling you, Nick, being a sports fan, where I've got 3 of the 4 majors in action: hockey, basketball, baseball. Those 3 majors, and you're going to try to sneak.
You have 3 majors going on right now, even during football as well too. You have baseball playoffs, something that you're complaining about. Where again, October, you still got NFL. You still have the beginning of NBA. You have the beginning of NHL around October, and NFL. You have 4 major sports.
And I'm not a player in the NFL until after baseball.
Well,
but see, here's the thing. With the XFL coming into play, and again, you look at the places that we announced here a couple weeks back, spring football just doesn't make it.
But you're going to markets that might be maybe looking forward to it again. Tampa Bay with the Buccaneers, I think maybe that. As much as Tampa Bay, they don't really show up for any major sports. Tampa Bay doesn't even deserve a sports franchise at this point in time.
LA has been a failure.
L.A., it's
been a failure in spring football every time.
Well, we'll see. Again, L.A. right now, football is kind of the top dog right now. Again, with the Lakers and the Clippers trying to get back in.
New York will be a failure. I guarantee it will be a failure.
New York might be again. That's another market where the Jets and Giants are on a downswing.
Donald Trump owned the Generals.
You keep on bringing up past history.
Yeah,
this
and
is
I'm telling you, this is not going to be any different than past history. The spring football will not run. It just does not go because, again, there's too many things. Here's the thing that they're going to go up now in competition. You're going to have these games on the weekend, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What do you have on the weekend now? You got the NBA on the weekend. You got your Rockies are on 160 games a year. You can catch the National Hockey League now. You got every avenue to force you away from watching. Excuse me.
You still do. What is different?
Well,
what is different?
Back when the XFL.
What is different right now?
When the XFL was first in business, there wasn't 150 Rocky games.
Why do you keep on bringing up past history? This is something new. Again, it's something that, hey, we've learned from our past mistakes.
Spring football can't compete. I'm just saying spring football, not XFL.
I'm just saying you even look at those cities for the XFL. St. Louis is probably dire for a football. Yeah, they do have to compete with the Cardinals out there, but again, you have that opportunity where they're a little hurt from what happened to the Rams.
Why isn't Chicago in there? Chicago's been a failure.
Maybe that's something that they realize. They go, well, Chicago, maybe not probably
not
right.
This run, maybe next season.
Again, this is only introductory. That's his 8 teams right now. It's kind of how the NFL built up, how the NHL built up, how MLB built up. You take it small steps at a time.
All right. Well, just so you and me are under the same thinking here, this is going to be the 4th try at spring football. The first 3. Yeah, and in Tampa Bay, where they had, I can't remember who it was at, either Jacksonville or whatever. In Florida, they supported it.
Mm-hmm.
But you went out to Los Angeles, nobody cared. So, again, I'm just...
Well, you went to Los Angeles where, again, they weren't used to pro football. They were kind of hurt from the Raiders and Rams leaving them to where, do we really care at this point? Football's kind of been revitalized right now in the L.A. area with the Chargers, with the Rams.
Do you think Seattle's going to give their support to spring football as opposed to their Hawks? The 12th man at CenturyLink Field?
Well, it's going to be after. Again, there's no splitting time. So, again, you could be a Seahawks fan. You could be a Seattle XFL fan as well because, again, it's not splitting time there. And, again, in Seattle, the only thing right now that's going to compete with them in 2020, or at least 2021 if it does move on, will be the eventual NHL franchise.
And the Mariners.
Again, the Mariners who are, right now, they're middle of the road.
They still draw.
They don't draw a whole lot to Safeco, or at least now T-Mobile Field, but they don't draw a whole hell of a lot there.
All right, well, anyway.
But you don't have anything else competing up there in Seattle.
Okay.
Against St. Louis, all you got is the Cardinals. Cardinals, you know.
And the Blues.
But the Blues are
also a playoff team. I mean,
that is not a guarantee with St. Louis. Well, not with the Blues, but again, it's a city that's dying for football right now.
And then you go up in New York, and you're going up against the Yankees, the Mets, the Rangers, the Islanders.
But you're dealing with a New York fan base.
Don't worry about the Knicks and the Barclays
But again,
Center.
a New York fan base that also too is seeing their 2 local football teams be basically dumpster fires right now. Hey.
Okay.
If we can't get it in the NFL with the Jets and the Giants, XFL will give you a shot.
Like I said, I'll be a looky-loo. We'll see what happens. I just don't.
I'm just saying, everything that you're complaining about the NFL right now, again, this is the perfect opportunity because, again, is the NFL going to address any of this? No. They're going to make it even more complicated.
Make it worse. Yeah,
they're going to make it even more complicated, even more worse, and it's going to be, hey, the XFL is going to be that shining star. At least they're going to reach out to folks like you going, well, if you don't like it, here's your other option.
And the next question would be, what are ticket prices going to be?
I think, again, it's something that they address.
You made that.
I think the XFL, at least I do believe Commissioner Luck addressed it of saying we're going to make it so families can attend these games. Because the prices right now, I think, for NFL games are out of control.
Right.
They're insanely overpriced, especially for garbage games. Triple digits to see the 49ers and Broncos, you're out of your mind.
But also, too, if you know a Vince McMahon product, it's very expensive to go see that, too.
We'll see.
Yeah, man, like I said, it'll be interesting. Do we need to take another break?
Yeah.
All right, well, when we come back, we got to size up here, Wild Card Weekend. We'll be back after these words right here on 1480 KRAE.
Hello, this is Pastor Nathaniel Inslee with Blessed Hope Baptist Church in Burns, Wyoming, and I would like to invite you to listen to our weekly broadcast entitled Hope for Today, right here on 1480 KRAE, every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. Our goal during each broadcast is to bring you a simple and short Bible truth that will be a help to you. Sure hope you can tune in. God bless you.
The message is simple. Drive sober or get pulled over. If you drink and drive, remember it's illegal and it can cost you your freedom or worse, your life. It's been determined that a blood alcohol content of 0.08% or more can impair you considerably when you are behind the wheel. Financially, it can devastate you if you get arrested. More importantly, it could result in losing a friend or a family member. That price is too high to pay. Call a designated driver after enjoying a night out and get home safe. Paid for by Federal Highway Safety Funds.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need.
For over 50 years, Capital Lumber Company has offered a full line of hardware and lumber selections. Plenty of materials, even for the do-it-yourselfer. So talk with one of the many experts today at Capital Lumber Company. Capital Lumber Company is the best in the region, and they are your true value hardware store. Lumber One in Cheyenne. Capital Lumber Company at 1222 Dunn Avenue.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Let First Education Federal Credit Union help make buying your next car a breeze. At First Education, you get competitive rates and deal with friendly local folks. Be in control by getting pre-approved and know what you have to spend before going to the dealer. Call 432-7400, go to firstedfcu.com, or visit us in person at 120 West Carlson Street with approved credit, membership eligibility required, federally insured by NCUA.
Go down the list. The new 2019 Kia Sorento is impressive all the way around. I'm AJ Miller for Kia of Cheyenne, and you need to compare the Kia Sorento against the competition on price, warranty, safety, awards, and standard or available features. Right now, during our Light Up the Holiday sales event, you could take advantage of some of the year's best offers. Available Dynamax all-wheel drive and a new 8-speed automatic transmission will keep you going down the road this season. Come by or go to KiaofCheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
If you're looking for a quick breakfast or lunch, you're looking for the Bread Basket. If you're busy and can't take time out for a healthy breakfast, stop in and try one of our breakfast burritos loaded with potatoes, eggs, cheese, bacon, and our homemade green chili wrapped in a 12-inch flour tortilla. Or, for a fast lunch, try our delicious cabbage burgers, hamburger, onions, and cabbage wrapped in bread dough and baked to a golden brown. Treat yourself to a fast breakfast or lunch today at the Bread Basket Bakery and Sandwich Shop, 1819 Maxwell Avenue, Cheyenne's hometown bakery.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For tonight, it'll be sunny with highs around 37 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15. And for tonight, it'll be clear skies with lows around 17 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 49. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 29.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
The only time we're with you this week on Wyoming Sports Talk Today, it is basketball season. We got a plethora.
I mean, technically, we could be here tomorrow.
If you
This
want.
game starts at 6:30.
Then I'm fine.
Pre-game 6:10. Doesn't take me an hour to get over there.
And that's fine. We can be here tomorrow.
Well, actually, let's see, 5:30. Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
What's up?
Because tomorrow, if anything, again, Thursday
We can
would
do a
be the
short-
L
we can do a short show.
Well, tomorrow we'd have to designate as our LCCC coach show.
Or are they coming in?
Possibly.
Well, then
I have not reached out to him.
I
But
thought
I'm
that
just
it-
saying, I have to figure out things. Would it be...
Oh, gosh, there's going to be a rain explosion coming up here in a little bit. All
Just
right.
have to make sure I have enough time.
All right, well, let's go into wild card weekend real quick here for the National Football League. On Saturday, Colts and the Texans. That would be an AFC South matchup. I don't know right now if I want to play the Colts. They are playing some pretty good football. Andrew Luck is...
I still think the Texans are a better team.
Do you really think so? Well, I do like Deshaun Watson. I will give you that. I don't know if I would put them as a good team, though.
A team that won the AFC South, who was...
They limped into the AFC South. Come on.
I guess so, but I still think Houston, the Texans, I still think they're the better team. I still have them holding out again. As we look at our preseason NFL picks, I still have them representing the AFC in the Super Bowl. So I still believe in this Texas team. Yes,
I would give them
again,
home
I would
field
be afraid of this Indianapolis Colts team of kind of at least the run that they've been having. They are, again, hot at the perfect time, but at home, Energy Stadium, Houston, Texas, that crowd's going to be livid.
The odds makers don't see it like you do, though. The odds makers have Houston 1.5. Usually it's 3 if you're home field. Over on the other game, and I'm telling you right now, I don't want to play these guys either. Seattle and the Cowboys. Especially when the Seahawks Seahawks had 4 out of their last 5 games at home, and they did what they needed to do.
Yeah. Seattle, again, a very strong opponent going into the wild card weekend. Dallas has been that team that's kind of snuck on the radars a bit.
Has Amari Cooper made that much of a difference for them?
No. In my opinion, not really. But for the Dallas Cowboys, though, it's a team that's kind of snuck on the radar, it feels like. And I'll talk about even across the NFL. No one was really paying attention to the NFC East because it was that kind of terrible of a division beginning out. But Dallas kind of took control of things. That one would be hard to size up. Those two teams kind of have a kind of rich recent history, especially in the playoffs. If you go back again a few years ago, I would say Dallas. I give them the slight edge over to Seattle, but that one's a complete toss-up.
All right, Dallas is favored by 2. I got to go with the Seahawks in this one just simply for the fact the Seahawks defense, which has been maligned, and again, the one anomaly was against the 49ers. They played just crappy at Levi Stadium. There's no doubt about it. But the 4 games at home, they kicked some butt.
But they're not going to be.
All right, well, I'm just saying.
They're not going to be at home, though.
But they're going to be on the carpet.
But that's in Jerry's world. That's 100,000 strong Cowboy fans who are going to get loud and proud there. Again, that is you're away from
I understand, but I think their defense will be able to shut down, and I think they'll be able to get to Dak Prescott. My opinion.
Dallas the Cowboys have been that team where it just kind of seems like they've had the easy route to the playoffs, so they haven't really been battle tested. Maybe that's enough to say, hey, we're kind of fresh and we're ready for a Seattle team that has been a little bit battle-tested. A Seattle team that's also, and again, Dallas is in the same realm, but a Seattle team that is, they're very beatable. They're nothing great shakes.
This could be, if it's a low-scoring game.
It is surprising to see the Seattle Seahawks in the playoffs. A team I didn't even think were going to even sniff the playoffs. So I give them that much credit. But it's not a team, if I'm the Cowboys, especially at home, am I afraid of the Seahawks? Not really.
If it's a low-scoring game, it favors the Seahawks. I think a 17-13 game favors the Seahawks.
If anything, it would I would say it more favorites. I think Cowboys have a better defense.
All right, we'll
and again, the offense, I think Cowboys as well too. Again, with Prescott, with Elliott, have a better offense as well too. Russell Wilson, sure, he's been. I don't deny Russell Wilson, but that offense isn't what we saw years ago when they were making the Super Bowl runs.
Okay. Chargers-Ravens on Sunday. This will be in Baltimore at M&T Bank Stadium.
Another toss-up of where anything could go.
The Chargers absolutely stunk in Carson, California against the Ravens. Ravens didn't look good against Cleveland.
Yeah.
Held on to win.
Cleveland, I don't sell short Cleveland, but for the Chargers, if they want it to be this year, again, Phillip Rivers, who it's looking like it might be kind of his remaining season, if they want to make it
his final season,
possibly. There's been rumors about it. We'll see if that happens. But for the Chargers, if you want to kind of at least going back to what we talked about last week of getting disrespected almost of, hey, we deserve a higher seed of where we finish. Again, we finished better. Now we have to play on the road against a Baltimore team that didn't get enough wins, who you were fortunate enough to win the AFC North, a pathetic AFC North. I think maybe could that be something that fuels the Chargers of that battle cry of, hey, let's prove that we are better. Even though we have to go against these, we have to be battle-tested. We have to go through these hoops to make it to the Super Bowl. Let's prove why we won these many games this year, why we are the better team in the AFC.
You could beat the Chargers once, beating them twice, that's a different...
You got the advantage, though, being at home.
I know, that's a different cat, but... just the Chargers being on the road this one, I just don't think they can pull this one off. And again, Baltimore, they've been up and down, but I think now with the quarterback change and you got Flacco still sitting on the bench there nursing an injury, I think they might be.
I think they're happy with Jackson.
Oh, I think they are. I think he brings a different element to the game. Anyway, that'll be at M&T Bank Stadium, 2.5-point favorite for Baltimore. I think they cover the spread. Eagles at the Bears, and Nick Foles will be ready to play, but don't tell me that Khalil Mack has not made the difference for this.
He'll make the difference, and he'll put probably at least Foles on his back a few times. And, I think the Bears should easily win in this one. Philadelphia has no business. Philadelphia was lucky to sneak into the playoffs. They are very fortunate that they're not out on the outside looking in. Bears, they should have no issue. Bears have been they are a for real team. They're going to show why they are a for real team coming up. Do they have enough to make it past an LA Rams and New Orleans Saints? Probably not. But in this opening round, I think they have no issue with Philadelphia.
Yeah, the Bears, 6-point favorites. I think they'll cover. Philadelphia, you were the Super Bowl champions from last year.
I mean,
you will be dethroned officially.
They are still technically champs.
Yeah. All right, we got to wrap things up here on this side as we are broaching in on the 5 o'clock hour. Coming up, we will have the best of the 50s and 60s.